our lead discussant, Doctor. We move to the countries, 5 regions, sorry. First of all, I want to invite the moderator, who will also be a panelist, the Senate President of Eswatini, who represents the South African region. Can we please give it off to her? Then we have from the Central Africa, the Speaker of Chad, or the leader of Chad delegation. Chad, Central Africa. Then we have the Speaker of Morocco from the Northern Africa region. Please, let's give it out. Then the Speaker or the leader of Cameroon, representing the East Africa region. No, sorry, the Central Cameroon, yes, Central Africa, to represent the Chad. Cameroon.
Central is Chad.
No, they are not here. Chad.
They are not, okay, the Cameroon is Chad. Cameroon is also
Chad. Is Chad coming? Yeah, give it to him. Oh. Okay, Cameroon. I hear Chad is here. I thought Chad has left. Please, Cameroon. Chad will continue. Then West Africa, we invite the Speaker of Sierra Leonean Parliament. Please, let's give it out. Then East Africa, Kenya, we invite the Assistant Speaker to represent the East African region. So we have West Africa, North Africa, South Africa, East Africa, and we are still waiting for Chad before I move to call Cameroon to replace Chad. Then our host, Honorable. Yes, you are going. Hey, you are the host. You need to adopt Central, one for Central, 1 chair for Central. Yeah, Central Africa. So we need one for our host. Whilst at it, we are working on the French translation, and we hope that it will be ready soon. Meanwhile, the English translation is ready. Give me a copy. Have they given me a copy? Have they given me a copy? No. Oh, then the moderator has one. So we're projecting the English version. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Can you bring the Speaker from Chad?
Procedure, Speaker, Chair.
Yes, I recognize him.
Oh, thank you so much, Chair. I know that we are almost coming to the end of our days here, and aware that today is World Environment Day, and we've been discussing about issues to deal with food and nutrition security, including environmental protection, because they are interlinked. Wouldn't it be necessary, because getting this audience is not easy, to present a 1-minute statement to this House in reflection of our World Environment Day? I'm just raising a procedural matter for your guidance. Thank you, Chair.
I'm just an MC. Let me ask the Speaker, moderator from Eswatini, whether we can give a 30-second, not 1 minute. 30 seconds. So do you want to do it from there? On well, okay, please go ahead. Was
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speakers, and our wonderful MC, Honorable, for giving me the floor to present a statement on this World Environment Day. From my coming here, I told you that I was an environmental lawyer and an activist on climate change and environmental protection. And it's exciting to know that we have met here, and it will never be easier to get such a gathering on this particular day. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this statement as we celebrate World Environment Day in Ghana. On behalf of the Africa Parliamentarians Network on Climate Change, I extend greetings to all parliamentarians gathered here for this important conference on family values. Today, as we mark World Environment Day, we are reminded that the health of our environment is inseparable from the well-being of our families, the sovereignty of our nations, and the future of our continent. Africa bears both the greatest promise of natural wealth and the heaviest burden of environmental degradation and climate change. From droughts to floods to hurricanes, Africa is the most affected continent with only emission of less than 4% global emission. Parliaments have a direct responsibility to act. We must strengthen legislations on environmental protection, enforce accountability for pollution and deforestation, and prioritize investments in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and water security. Because in this meeting we are talking about sovereignty of our legislations, our family values and laws. We must also ensure that our policies protect the most vulnerable communities who feel the impact of climate change first and worst. As we advance the pillars of the Africa trade as a continent and African Agenda 2063, let us commit to building an Africa where economic growth goes hand in hand with environmental stewardship, protecting our land, forests, rivers, and air is protecting the inheritance we leave to the next generation.
Thank you, my sister.
May this Environment Day, honorable members, renew our resolve to legislate boldly on issues of climate and environmental protection and cooperate across borders for a healthier, more resilient Africa. Let's stand up for the World Environment Day. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's put hands together for her. Thank you.
So we move straight to take the communique to be projected on our screens as well as on the larger screen. Madam Speaker, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, honorable speakers, deputy speakers, honorable members of national parliaments, civil society, religious leaders, traditional leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate. The communique that is about to be presented to this Fourth African Interparliamentary Conference on Family, Sovereignty and Values captures the outcomes, recommendations, and collective aspirations emerging from our discussions. It reflects the contributions of delegates, experts, faith leaders, civil society representatives, and stakeholders who have worked diligently throughout this conference. As leaders and stakeholders entrusted with shaping the future of our societies, it is our responsibility not only to articulate our convictions, but also to translate them into meaningful action that benefits our people and strengthens our institutions. It is therefore now my honor as Senate President of the Parliament of the Kingdom of Eswatini to present the communique of this fourth African Interparliamentary Conference on Family, Sovereignty and Values. I read the preamble. We, the members of African parliaments, African leaders and civil society communities, having convened in Accra, Ghana, from 3rd to 6th June 2026, affirm our collective concern over growing threats to the African family, national sovereignty and societal values arising from external pressures, ideological influences and policy frameworks that do not reflect the aspirations, traditions, and realities of African peoples. Affirming our continued commitment to the resolutions agreed upon in the 3 Entebbe conferences on African family, sovereignty, and values. Continuing to recognize that the family is the natural and fundamental unit of society and the bedrock of social stability, cultural continuity, and sustainable development across Africa. Determined to consolidate parliamentary consensus and strengthen cooperation among African legislators in advancing the objectives and principles of the African Charter on Family, Sovereignty, and Values. We now seek to mobilize all African leaders, legislatures, civil society communities, and citizens to uphold Africa's independence in defining its values, legislations, policies, decisions, and destiny. Key declarations. Participants were granted audience by the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana, the Honorable Julius Debra, representing His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. He emphasized that the family is the fundamental building block of society, serving as the primary institution through which values, identity, and resilience are transmitted across generations. 1.2 of it reads, he affirmed the importance of preserving African values through strong families, responsible leadership, and institutions that promote social cohesion and national identity. He therefore advocated for family-centered policies that promote social protection systems, improved maternal and child health services, expanded employment opportunities, and inclusive economic growth. He affirmed Africa's commitment to international cooperation, mutual respect, and constructive partnership while insisting on the continent's right to chart its own development path. He called on delegates to ensure that the principles of the African Charter on Family, Values, and Sovereignty are translated into practical actions and policies. He urged participants to leave the conference with renewed commitment to protecting family values, strengthening sovereignty, building resilient institutions, and expanding opportunities for future generations. He expressed confidence that Africa possesses the talent, the resources, and potential necessary to shape its own destiny and build a prosperous future rooted in its values and identity. The chair of the Conference of Speakers and Presidents of the African Legislatures, COSPAL, and Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana, the Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, in his keynote address, drew a parallel between the Fourth African Interparliamentary Conference and the 1958 All-African People's Conference in Accra. He stated that Africa has achieved political independence, but now faces a new struggle to preserve its cultural identity, family values, and sovereignty. The Right Honorable Speaker further stressed that the family is the most vulnerable unit of governance and social security on the continent, and that weakening family structures directly undermines national stability. He cautioned against external pressures imposing a foreign legal and cultural paradigms. The Right Honorable Speaker highlighted severe strains on African families from poverty, migration, educational deficiencies, and unregulated digital influences, calling for a shift from rhetoric to practical actions. He urged targeted government policies such as affordable housing, child nutrition, maternal health care, and support for elderly care, as opposed to harmful traditional practices and child labor. Participants deliberated on advancing the African Charter on Family, Sovereignty and Values and resolved that parliamentary consensus must extend across the 7 domains of the conference discussions of 1. African family systems in contemporary times, dynamic pressures, resilience, and dynamic pressures and resilience. Secondly, sovereignty and cultural preservation, implications for lawmaking and governance. Thirdly, values-based education and youth development, safeguarding future generations. Fourthly, gender, marriage, and family well-being, promoting balance while upholding cultural norms. Fifthly, technology, media, and global influences, assessing risks to African identity and family cohesion. Sixthly, comparative legislative approaches, lessons from African and global jurisdictions. The seventh and last one, drafting the African Charter, content structure, obligations, enforcement, and monitoring. All these emanate from the overarching thematic charter principles of sovereignty of the African family, African religious and cultural values sovereignty, education sovereignty, health sovereignty, food and natural resources sovereignty, and economic development and political sovereignty. African family system in contemporary times, dynamic pressures, resilience. My apology. Third one is sovereignty and cultural preservation, implications for lawmaking and governance. Then 3.6, participants agreed to preserve African culture. Participants agreed that to preserve African culture, African nations must integrate indigenous African knowledge systems, cultural heritage, ethics, and civic responsibility into the educational system to ensure that African children and youth are firmly established in their identity, history, and values. Values-based education and youth development, safeguarding future generations. 4.5, participants agreed that there should be a shift in the education framework to emphasize scaling demand-driven technical and vocational training, fostering youth entrepreneurship through provision of startup capital, mentorship and coaching, and leveraging digital innovation. On gender, marriage, and family well-being, promoting balance while upholding cultural norms. Participants expressed concern that contemporary discussions on family life, parenting, and sexuality have increasingly marginalized the role of fathers and men, thereby weakening family structures and the transmission of values, and have agreed to promote policies, programs, and educational initiatives that encourage the active involvement of fathers and men in family life, parenting, and the moral formation of children. Participants were concerned that sex education in some contexts is increasingly detached from family involvement, cultural values, and moral responsibility, and agreed to advocate family-centered and age-appropriate approaches to sex education that actively involve parents and guardians as primary educators of their children. Participants expressed concern that changing social attitudes towards marriage may undermine its perceived role in family formation, child development, and social stability, and stressed to promote educational and public awareness programs that highlight the importance of marriage, family life, and responsible relationships as foundational institutions for societal development. Participants noted that educational curricula often place insufficient emphasis on family values, character formation, and moral development, and agreed to encourage the integration of family values, ethics, character development, and responsible citizenship into educational curricula across African countries. Participants expressed concern that family-related issues do not always receive adequate policy attention and coordination within government structures, and agreed to encourage African governments to strengthen institutional mechanisms and policy frameworks that support family well-being, family stability, and the protection of children. Participants expressed concern about the influence of external cultural and ideological trends that may conflict with the values and traditions upheld by African societies, and agreed to uphold the sovereign rights of African nations to develop laws, policies, and educational frameworks that reflect their constitutional principles, cultural heritage, and societal aspirations. Participants emphasized the need for legislative frameworks that promote family cohesion, child welfare, and cultural values, and agreed to support continued dialogue among African parliaments, government, faith-based organizations, traditional leaders, civil society, and families towards the development and implementation of policies that strengthen families, protect children, and preserve Africa's cultural heritage and values. On technology, media, and global influences assessing risks to African identity and family cohesion, participants discussed the influence of technology and media on family cohesion, and agreed that African nations must take steps to promote policies that strengthen family institutions and protect children within digital environments. Participants discussed the need to mitigate the negative effects of technology on the African youth, and agreed to develop comprehensive national and continental frameworks for data protection, cybersecurity, and digital governance, and accelerate the ratification, domestication, and implementation of the Malabo Convention across African countries. Participants agreed that to safeguard African data sovereignty through local data hosting, data localization policies, and stronger regulatory oversight, develop indigenous African AI systems, language models, and digital technologies. Participants appreciated that African governments should promote the inclusion of African languages, cultures, traditions, and indigenous knowledge systems within digital platforms and AI applications. Participants agreed to protect African children and youth from harmful online content, cyberbullying, digital exploitation, and technology-driven addictions by enhancing digital literacy and cybersecurity awareness programs for citizens, families, educators, and public institutions. Participants stressed that to promote greater African participation in shaping global digital governance standards, content moderation frameworks, and technology regulations, Africans must strengthen collaboration among governments, universities, technology experts, civil society organizations, and policymakers in addressing digital governance and emerging technologies challenges. Comparative legislative approaches, lessons from African and global jurisdictions. Participants deliberated on comparative legislative approaches in African and other jurisdictions, and agreed that the policy frameworks should continue to align with existing international and regional human rights instruments, including the International Bill of Rights and the core human rights treaties. Participants agreed that national, political, legal, and human rights institutions should be strengthened to ensure effective protection of rights, accountability, and the preservation of African sovereignty. Participants discussed the need to strengthen policies and legal frameworks aimed at protecting children, safeguarding the right to life, and ensuring the welfare and dignity of vulnerable groups within society. Participants took note of the effort to divert and redefine African values through other legislations and agreed that efforts should be made to promote African identity, integration, unity, and cultural heritage as drivers of sustainable political and economic advancement across the continent. The conference emphasized that African countries should pursue engagement among governments, national human rights institutions, civil society, academia, and regional bodies to incorporate legislations that deepen understanding of the intersection between human rights, sovereignty, culture, and development in Africa. Drafting the African Charter, content, structure, obligations, enforcement, and monitoring. Institutional framework adopted and recommended by speakers of the Parliament of Ghana. The session adopted the following recommendations. 1, COSPAL should formally adopt the activities, processes, resolutions, and outcome documents emerging from the first 4 interparliamentary conferences that culminated in the development of the Charter. COSPAL should establish a committee on family, sovereignty, and values comprising between 3 and 5 speakers of parliament to provide strategic oversight and direction for the institutionalization process. 3, the COSPAL committee should establish a secretariat drawing from the founding members and supported by appropriate technical expertise to coordinate and drive the work of the network. The secretariat should undertake activities between conferences, including coordination, monitoring, communication, advocacy, research, reporting, and the planning and execution of annual conferences. The COSPAL committee, together with the founding member states, should develop and submit for adoption the constitutional and statutory instruments required for the governance and operation of the institution within a stipulated timeline, within stipulated timelines, my apology. National parliamentary caucuses or associations on families, sovereignty, and values should be established within member states to support implementation, advocacy, monitoring, and reporting. A sustainable financing framework should be developed through member states' contributions, parliamentary budget allocations, partnerships, grants, and other lawful sources of support. Future conferences should be hosted on a rotational basis among participating countries to enhance ownership, participation, and continental engagement. Clear timelines should be established for implementation of the institutionalization process, particularly in relation to engagement with COSPAL and submission of proposals for consideration by relevant African Union structures. Mechanisms should be developed to strengthen collaboration with traditional authorities, faith-based organizations, civil society organizations, and community institutions to ensure broad-based support and sustainability. Strategic partnerships should be pursued with like-minded institutions and networks globally to strengthen advocacy efforts and amplify African perspectives on family, sovereignty, and cultural values. Educational and cultural initiatives should be promoted to strengthen awareness of African values and preserve cultural identity among young generations. Call to action. African Parliament should subject the draft African Charter on Family, Sovereignty, and Values to internal consultation with their respective executives and domestic processes of public participation in the period preceding the fourth interparliamentary conference. Preceding the fifth interparliamentary conference, my apology. Preceding the fifth interparliamentary conference, we call upon civil society organizations to subject the draft African Charter on Family Sovereignty and Values to wide public participation in preparation for the 5th Interparliamentary Conference scheduled for the year 2027. We encourage all African parliaments to attend the 5th African Interparliamentary Conference that shall be hosted in May 2027. Participants expressed their appreciation to His Excellency, President John Dramani Hamani, the President of the Republic of Ghana, for his support for the conference, as well as delivering the welcome address and opening the conference through his representative, the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana. Participants also appreciated the Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana, for hosting and supporting the conference. Appreciation also goes to the Speakers of Parliament and heads of delegations that have continuously participated in the Interparliamentary Conference on Family Sovereignty and Values. End of communique. Honorables, permit me to put a question for this august House on the adoption of the conference communique. I put a question on the adoption of this communique. I will then bring forward a board after the adoption, after someone has moved for adoption. I will bring a board for members to sign the board and say they are part of this process. Honorable Sarah Pendi.
I think on the call to action, since this is a communique, we should be definite on the next host country and mention it in this communique, as we have always done. So I just wanted to make that amendment at 8.3. I have Burkina Faso as the country that applied to host next year's conference, the first French-speaking country to actually apply to host. And I know that Eswatini had equally shown interest.
I am conflicted as I'm standing on the podium. But yes, Eswatini has also raised their hand. We would like to host the next conference if the August gathering so suggests. Thank you. May I invite the Deputy Speaker?
For Eswatini?
I'll invite the Deputy Speaker. As I say, I'm conflicted. Let him lead this process. Thank you.
Well, now that we are looking for a country to take the baton from us, I think we want to make it open. Now you've gotten 2 countries. Is there any other country that is interested or desirous to host so that we decide together? I just want us things to be done openly. So apart from Burkina Faso and Eswatini, is it that there's any country which is also desirous to host? If no country is prepared, then probably we will have to. It's a form of democracy, so we will look up to consensus. If the consensus we are not able to build, then obviously we show up hands.
Could so Burkina Faso?
Can we allow them to
bid?
Yeah. Can we allow the 2 countries to?
Yeah. Let them address us on why they need it. Yeah.
So, honorable members, I think Uganda
You propose.
Who said for 3? Yes. And the baton moved from Uganda, which is East Africa, to Ghana, which is West Africa. That's not the basis anyway, but you want to speak?
Yeah, maybe we request them to motivate, justify to us why they should be the one holding next year and not the other year. There could be a reason, maybe the coming year may be having issues, so that's why they would host next year. You see, like, that's how Kenya withdrew, because Kenya was bidding for it, but because they have elections, they pulled out. So they must give us a justification. There could be why. Not that they should not be able to offer next year, but just in case there are reasons like the way Kenya behind the scenes had a discussion, they can just talk to us.
So we should give the floor to
yes,
the two countries.
Two countries there.
To tell us why.
Why next year, not the other year.
Well, that's the position of my friend from Uganda. Should we go that way? Well, so, Honorable Deputy Speaker of Burkina Faso, can you take the floor and tell us why you want to? So, within 2 minutes, if you can tell us something. Yes, you can come here.
Monsieur le Président et chers honorables délégués, Mesdames et Messieurs, au nom de toutes nos délégations, je voudrais exprimer notre profonde gratitude au peuple et le gouvernement du Ghana, ainsi que le Parlement, pour l'accueil chaleureux et l'excellente condition de travail qui nous ont été offertes durant cette conférence. Je saisis l'occasion pour inviter l'ensemble des délégations à la prochaine conférence interparlementaire africaine sur les valeurs familiales et la souveraineté que le Burkina Faso souhaite accueillir au cours de la prochaine semaine de mai 2027. Après plusieurs éditions organisées dans des pays anglophones, il nous paraît opportun qu'un pays francophone prenne le relais dans un esprit d'équilibre et de représentativité. En tant que pays membre fondateur, nous avons été sollicités les fois passées, mais nous n'étions pas encore disponibles. Aujourd'hui, au nom du président du Faso, le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré, dans d'importantes réformes de souveraineté et de développement qui sont engagées, alors nous souhaiterions que vous touchiez du doigt cet exemple de volonté de souveraineté dans tous les domaines et voir sur place ce que veut dire la prise de sa souveraineté et à quoi ça engage, et surtout les aspects concrets que vous allez voir sur le terrain. Alors nous serons véritablement honorés de vous recevoir à Ouagadougou avec toutes vos délégations, et même les pays qui n'ont pas pu être là sont brillamment invités à participer à la prochaine conférence à Ouagadougou en mai 2027. Je vous remercie.
Well, thank you very much. Let me now turn to Eswatini.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. My own country, the Kingdom of Eswatini, stands as a testament to the preservation of culture and tradition while embracing modernity. And I believe that by the participants coming to the kingdom to see for themselves how we govern even our political system, we have ensured that everyone is not left behind, starting from the grassroots, respecting our traditional leadership, and then embracing the modernity. It is my desire on behalf of the Kingdom of Eswatini that you see what culture is. Our society has a grouping, has an activity for our maidens, teaching them to preserve their purity. An example is that in the month of August, maidens come over 100,000 from all corners of the country to come and just dance and celebrate and sing. We are a people that speak in song and we speak in dance. At the same time, we believe that we need to develop. We have groupings for women as well, for the married women, that is in February. Again, throngs come in their numbers, and for the men. This is how we've been able to keep our culture. We have managed to keep it. We are proud to be Africans, we are proud to be Swazis, and we invite you to come, and we love ourselves. So we are just saying to, we're just saying to our fellow Africans, let's love ourselves. We are just a fraction of our society, but when you come to the kingdom and see all of us, I think you'll be happy. Thank you very much.
Very interesting. Eh? So what do we do?
2 meetings.
Delegates, what do
2
you do?
conferences.
2 conferences.
So can we resolve the first step by consensus? If among themselves they can reach consensus and tell us, fine, we decided to do this, but looking at the situation, we want to do this, then other than that, we have no other option than to go through democratic way by voting. So among yourself, can you tell us something?
Right Honorable Speaker, can I move out with Burkina Faso and Eswatini? Can I move out? I don't want us to get into a vote. We'll start dividing ourselves.
Exactly.
You can see the tension that this has created. Can I invite them and we return after 1 minute?
Well, is that the case? Sierra Leone, do you?
Mr. Speaker, I am not satisfied that Sarah moves alone. We need another person to join Sarah to move, so that we have what we call a united and a unique decision here. We don't want countries to go out.
Then I want you to join them. Morocco, also join them. Omoba. It's what it is. Everybody wants to go to Eswatini. Oh, no, we won't go there.
Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Hands on souls in the shoes. She was physically forgotten, but then she slipped into my pocket with my car keys. She said, "You've taken me for granted, because I feel where he's down." And I could say,
rockity rock, Consolidating. The ready, ready to rock. We on the right news from Zion every coast. The ready to rock. We say Coco, the ride. Coco, the rasta. Coco, the ride. Coco, the rasta. Somebody is working out the sound system. See Jaja rhythm and moving to space and time. Brother can be, he got nothing, he build out in this line. So why don't you get a more to set us rest? We say Coco, the ride. Coco, the rasta, rasta layer. Coco, the ride. Coco, the rasta. families and loved ones and say, Father, please hurry.
Honorable members, order. May I have your attention? Order member for Kenya. Hello? Consultations are in loud. Kindly allow me to make a request. If you could lend me your attention for a minute. As you know very well, civil society plays a very important role in supporting the implementation of the Charter. And one of the things we've committed to do at the Africa Christian Professionals Forum is research. We are therefore in the process of conducting a survey, Africa-wide survey, to document policies and laws that will actually go a long way in advancing the Charter. To achieve that, we have developed an online survey. You are going to receive it. It is in English and in French. And we want to gather as much information as possible that will help us champion and advance this cause. Please support us. When you receive the link, that will be shared among the conference documents. Thank you. Asante sana. Merci beaucoup. Obrigado.
Very well. Obrigado. Right, honorable speakers, deputy speakers, honorable members. Honorable Sarah Opindi decided to mediate between Burkina Faso and Eswatini. I think I will call her to tell us what was the outcome.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Distinguished delegates, we are here as Africans trying to forge unity amongst ourselves. And it is for that reason, having seen the cheers for Eswatini, the cheers for Burkina Faso, I did not want a divided house. So we have had both presenting the reasons, and you all had, and agreed that since we are building this African unity and solidarity around the family, we need, the more frequent we meet, the better for us. So considering the views presented by the two countries, we've agreed that The first 4 meetings have been held in 3 Uganda, 1 in Ghana, and all these are English-speaking countries. Let us give an opportunity to Burkina Faso to host the 5th conference, and then give an opportunity to Eswatini, considering that they have their cultural event towards the end of August or early September. They will advise us. We hold another meeting in Eswatini around that time when they are celebrating their cultural event. So that is the win-win situation in the spirit of Africa. So let us go and plan accordingly. I know as members of parliament, we shall not fail. So thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
So, does it mean that the Eswatini one will be the 6th conference? I want us to be clear about it. The Burkina Faso's one is going to be the 5th conference. So what are we going to term the Eswatini one? Is it the 6th in the same year? I just want us to be clear about it. I don't know whether I'm making myself clear.
Honorable colleagues, we have a lot of work to do when we talk about institutionalization of this particular network. There's a lot of work to do, including approving the constitution and all that. What will govern us? So we have a lot of work to do. We can have the 5th conference in Burkina Faso, and then the 6th conference in Eswatini. Let's call it so. As simple as that.
Very well. I can reminisce what happened to Entebbe last year when Ghana put in the bid and Kenya also put in the bid. And before we decided to go to the General Assembly, almost everybody was saying Ghana, 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 Ghana. So we won it overwhelmingly, and that is why we are here. So if today we've decided that next year, May, we are going to Burkina Faso, and somewhere August ending, we will be going to Eswatini, it means we have to put it in our calendar. Our itinerary should show that next year we are going to have 2 conferences, Burkina Faso and Eswatini. You have an... Okay, let's hear you.
Well, Mr. Chair, just a very quick comment. And this concerns me in terms of your action plans. When I raised it, I was told that will appear in the charter. But it will be useful to capture in the communique. Because one of the biggest problems that African sovereignty and family values has faced over the years is the misinterpretation of standard UN covenants and treaties by United Nations experts, what's it called, rapporteurs, and whoever they are. So we must have a strategy to address this. And I think you parliamentarians have a lot of strength, because under the UN human rights framework, experts who do things that are contrary to the charter can be reprimanded. And you can also investigate. So I think you must make it clear, it is time, I'm a boxing person, it is time Africa begins to punch back. because they are not resting on their hours. As we're sitting here, some of them are amongst us. They are monitoring what we are doing, and they are going to respond. And so I think you must put some teeth to what we're going to do by also responding to some of the misinterpretation of standard UN covenants. And that's very important from the point of view of this particular conference.
Well, Senior Moses, I think you are right. I believe the communique captures a bit of what we have just said. If it doesn't address it wholeheartedly, probably when you go to Burkina Faso, we can look at the loopholes and reinforce it. So we will go ahead and invite the speakers and the deputy speakers to symbolically go to the whiteboard and initial the communique. So you start with the speakers, and the deputy speakers will follow.
To a wicked man, make him on its own, and it bring about feelings to a wicked man. He must have made a progressive move.
So after the deputy speakers, the heads of delegations from the various countries will also do same.
When the concern of Rasta comes outside of Babylon, the big man is so and it bring about the feelings to a wicked man. The big man is so and it bring about the feelings to a wicked.
More or less, I think it means we.
President Mandela was in prison for 20 years. And they leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stood one, a big man is over, and it bring about the feelings in Africa. A big man is over, and it bring about the feelings the European life. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let him hear what the prophets of the land say. Listen, let's go for one, them to one.
collègues, il y a une charte aujourd'hui qui est écrite. Et notre rôle, nous, parlementaires, nous sommes des bâtisseurs de consensus. Notre rôle aujourd'hui, de décliner cette charte en loi, à faire appliquer pour la protection de la famille dans nos pays. Et merci.
Merci. Now to my new mother-in-law, since we are coming to Swatini.
Thank you very much. I just want to say the past few days have truly been amazing. I think you need to all put your hands together for yourselves and just say, wow, we did amazingly well. We learned so much, we shared so many experiences, so much expert advice that we got, and we are wiser than when we came in. Let's stand together as Africa. Let's love ourselves. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's believe in our countries. Let's believe in our leaders. That is all I have to say. And I look forward to seeing you in Eswatini at the end of August for the redance. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was going to say my new mother-in-law, but the men are jealous, so I won't say it again. East Africa.
Yeah, on behalf of Kenya and East Africa, my eternal gratitude to the President of Ghana, to the organizers of this conference, and especially to the Right Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana for hosting us for the 4th African Interparliamentary Conference on Family Values, Family Sovereignty and Values. This has been a very unique one. If there is a day I've ever been happy, it is today, seeing as we are, that we are from diverse African nations, we are of different perspectives, but even where we disagreed, we did so as brothers and sisters, and we now have a charter which is going to be the foundation upon which we will protect our families. I can say more and more, but I do register my excitement, and I hope as we move forward, other nations will also embrace this Ubuntu, the feeling of being together, one people always. Thank you very much.
The Central African Republic. Sorry, Central Africa region.
Merci. Je disais hier que cette conférence est la plus importante et elle marque le réveil de l'Afrique. En tant que membre du Parlement tchadien, pays de Toumaï, berceau de l'humanité, on ne pouvait pas rêver mieux que le résultat auquel nous sommes parvenus aujourd'hui, et nous allons donc continuer à faire ce travail ensemble pour imposer le respect de l'Afrique. Et je crois que c'est ce que nous attendons tous des résultats de nos travaux aujourd'hui. Je vous remercie.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Now to our host speaker, we are most grateful. Your closing remarks.
Right honorable speakers, deputy speakers, and heads of delegations, honorable members of parliament and ministers of states, distinguished representatives of African legislatures, traditional and religious leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, policy experts and civil society leaders, youth and student representatives, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm doing now, I'm doing that for and on behalf of the Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, the Right Honorable Aban Sumana Kingsford Babin, who began with us and would definitely have wished to be here to close with us. However, another equally urgent, important national issues have taken and made it impossible for him to be here with us, hence asking me to stand instead for him. And therefore, whatever I am doing, I'm doing for my boss, the Speaker of Parliament. Three days ago, we gathered here in this historic citadel of African liberty, not merely to deliberate, but to answer a summons from history. Today, as we stand at the altar of our collective destiny, we have achieved what the skeptics declared impossible. We have forged and adopted the African Charter on Family, Sovereignty, and Values. Let the word go forth for the sacred chamber, from the sacred chamber to every corner of the globe. Africa has spoken, and she will no longer be spoken for. Before we venture into the weight of tomorrow, gratitude demands that we honor those who cleared the path for this historic gathering. We owe an immense debt of appreciation to His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, whose unwavering belief in the African Renaissance has been a pillar of strength for this conference. Though he could not be here in person, he sent us a formidable general, his chief of staff, the Honorable Julius Deborah, whose presence and solidarity have profoundly enriched our work. Let me also salute his brother, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, whose indomitable spirit has nurtured the vision since its inception until now. We salute him for his sterling leadership. Standing here in Accra, the spirits of our liberation giants stir. 70 years ago, on the eve of our birth as a nation, Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah stood before the world and declared that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of African continent. Today, we must possess the mature audacity to proclaim a new truth. And the political independence of Africa is an empty shell unless it is defended by the total sovereignty of our cultural and moral values. What does it profit a continent to inherit the apparatus of statecraft only to surrender the soul of its civilization? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we stand at a critical juncture confronting an increasing complex landscape of interconnected risks and emerging threats. The threats to African family are no longer delivered by gunboats. They arrive in the subtle seductive language of structural adjustments, cultural conditionalities, and ideological imperialism. There is coordinated, well-funded attempt to re-engineer the Africa conscience, to dismantle the traditional sanctuary of our family system, and to replace our indigenous ethics with an alien, destructive orthodoxy. Those who seek to use the levers of global finance and diplomatic pressures to coerce African nations, we say what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. tended from the steps of Lincoln Memorial, and I quote, "We have also come to this hollow spot to remind America of the fierce agency of now," unquote. But let us answer now in our own voice, with an image drawn from our own soil. They dangle a glittering queen before us and ask us to trade away our birthright. We answer them plainly. The inheritance our forebears placed in our hands is not for sale. And no measure of bolo, gold, can purchase the soul of our people. The granary of Africa values is full, and we alone holds its key. My fellow speakers and presidents of African legislatures, look at the seats you occupy. You do not sit in those high chairs as bureaucratic clerks of globalization. You sit there as the shields of your people. It is time to rid ourselves of the paralysis of intimidity. Too long have African leaders spoken in whispers on the global stage, fearing the withdrawal of aid or the disapproval of foreign metropoles. I admonish you today, a leader who fears the anger of a foreign donor more than the betrayal of their own people is a custodian of nothing but their own cowardice. And presidents of African legislatures who did not merely send delegations but traveled down yourself, walk into the arena and sat through every glowing hour of these 3 days. You did not abandon the floor when the debates grew hot. You stayed, you wrestled, and the concepts, you wrestled with the concept, and you hammered out a common destiny. Your endurance is proof that when the soul of Africa is at stake, her leaders will not be found wanting. The charter we have adopted today is not a passive document to be buried in the archives of our respective parliaments. It is the covenant of the unconquered. It is the proclamation of our legislative emancipation. Nkrumah reminded us, and I quote, "We face neither east nor west, we face forward," unquote. Today, let it be known that as we face forward, we stand rooted in the rich soil of our ancestral values. We declare the African family, defined by our heritage, protected by our laws, and cherished by our communities, to be a non-negotiable red line. Let us take steps to internalize this trailblazing charter into our domestic laws and ethos. We must act with the prophetic defiance of Martin Luther King, recognizing that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, unquote. The erosion of values in one African capital is a crack in the foundation of the entire continent. We cannot afford the luxury of isolationism. If they come for the family laws of one nation, we must respond with the collective legislative weight of 54 nations. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to leave this chamber and return to your respective republics, I pray that the Almighty God grant each and every delegate, leader, and officer travel mercies back home. May the skies be gentle, may your path be smooth, and may you return to your people with the fire of Accra burning brightly in your hearts. Go back and tell your parliaments, your cabinets, and your nations that here in Ghana, the leaders of Africa drew an unshakable line in the sand. Battle lines are clear, yet we are not afraid. We are comforted, but an eternal truth our history has taught us again and again, that justice may be delayed by the powerful, but it can never be defeated by them. The river that the colonizer tried to dam still found its way to the sea. For us, justice means the preservation of our identity, the dignity of our family, and the freedom to govern ourselves by the values we cherish. Let us march forward into tomorrow, united in purpose, fierce in our conviction, and unshakable in our sovereignty. Africa is born anew. Our family is secure. Our values are non-negotiable. On this note, I declare the 4th African Interparliamentary Conference on Family, Sovereignty, and Values duly closed. God bless you, and may God bless our beautiful sovereign continent. I thank you for your kind attention.
On that note, Mr. Speaker, we are most grateful, and I will beg that my speakers can now take their seats. We are grateful to all of you, honorable speakers, and all honorable delegates. We are not yet done. We will be taking our vote of thanks. I want to call on Sister Honorable Sarah Opin. But before she invites whoever will give us a vote of thanks, we have an evaluation form for the conference. It will be sent to you as a link for you to fill it for us. Please do justice to that. We want to know your impression about the conference. Then we also have a faith-based organization that has developed this manual called Gender Clarity. We want to be sure what gender is all about. People are bundling gender around. The faith-based organization is headed by our sister here, who will be waiting. Anybody who wants a copy can see her for it. Announcement. The exhibitions Please don't come to Ghana without going away with your shirts or beads or anything souvenir from Ghana. Please go home with something from Ghana. So the exhibition is still going on. Visit the exhibition center and then make use of Ghanaian product. After the closing prayer and a group picture, we will have the buses available in front here that will take us to our tour. Dinner will be served. The Honorable Speaker has a closing dinner. That one I'll be dancing with the Swatini people. I want to see Burkina people dancing with the Swatini people. So please, the dinner is at 7 o'clock at Accra City Hotel for delegates only. By the time you be back, the dinner will be ready. We want to see all of you there. On that note, Honorable Sarah.
Thank you very much, our Master of Ceremony, Right Honorable Speakers, heads of delegations, distinguished participants in your other various capacities. I want to take this opportunity to just make one statement before I invite the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, who is going to move a vote of thanks. A conference like this, ladies and gentlemen, does not just happen. It takes a lot of time, a lot of resources to actually handle the preparations. And some of you could have seen what is out there in social media, stating that this conference has been funded by some European groups and some people in the United States of America. I want to make it clear to everybody listening here that this conference has been fully funded by the government of Ghana and your governments that flew you here. I saw in one of the social media stories, Mr. Henk, as one of the funders, he only flew here to participate and witness what Africans were doing. So I want to thank the parliaments of all the delegates that are here for having supported you to be here. And let us go and plan to attend the next conference in Burkina Faso in bigger numbers. What we have adopted here has been made by African legislators who are representing their people, and it has been made for the African people. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite the Right Honorable Carlos Tembe, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker of Mozambique, to move a vote of thanks. Thank you very much. Viva, viva Africa.
Boa tarde. Farei o agradecimento na língua portuguesa. Quero, em nome da conferência, em nome da África, agradecer a todas as nações aqui presentes por estarmos aqui unidos no único propósito, que é lutar pela família africana, pela cultura africana, pela soberania africana. É uma grande honra para todos nós estarmos aqui presentes, porque neste dia podemos marcar na história da África e para as futuras gerações que estivemos aqui unidos a defender as futuras gerações. Em nome do governo de Moçambique, Também quero aproveitar e agradecer e também deixar aqui o nosso compromisso como país, como deputados de Moçambique, que ao regressarmos, faremos tudo que estiver ao nosso alcance para que esta carta seja assumida pelo governo de Moçambique, pelo povo de Moçambique. Em poucas palavras, quero agradecer ao Criador da África, ao nosso Deus, ao Deus deste belo continente africano, um continente bastante rico em riquezas, que não faz sentido ser chamado um dos países mais pobres do mundo. É um desafio para nós todos aqui presentes, lutarmos para que os próximos anos da África possamos, na verdade, ser um país suficiente, um país abençoado, um país com um povo feliz e próspero. Nestas palavras eu termino agradecendo a todos a vossa presença. Levem o carinho da África para os vossos países. Transmitamos que a África, na verdade, é o destino da humanidade. Aqui nasceram os primeiros homens e aqui estão os primeiros homens. Aqui está a liderança da humanidade, da preservação da história da humanidade. Que Deus ricamente nos abençoe a cada um de nós e que regressemos aos nossos países com esta responsabilidade histórica de levarmos a mensagem para todos os nossos povos. Muito obrigado e Deus abençoe a África mais uma vez. Amém.
Half of Africa, but and to the eastern part of Africa, we say thank you all. Akpenami, obrigado, edamoase. How do you say in Swahili? Asante. Okay. The evaluation form is out there to be filled. Those who want to fill the hard copy, the lady copy, you send it out. Thank you very much. Can we call the lady who will help us to sing our anthem, and then we'll invite the Right Honorable Reverend Dr. Bishop Emeritus to give us a closing prayer. Can we stand for the anthem?
Oh, Africa, united we stand, protecting the future of our land. Together, one voice, one hope, one destiny. Africa's the future. Through every culture, tribe and tongue, a sacred song shall still be sung. The strength of home, the bond of love, the wisdom of our father's guide. Hope of youth walks by our side, keeping Africa's future right. Through faith and unity, we protect our identity. Oh, Africa, united we stand, protecting the future of our land. Together, one voice, one hope, one destiny. Africa's the future. Thank you.
Then, because of your will and degree, powers have come and go. It is your will in the center, and your word declares, blessed are the people, blessed are the nations, whose God is their Lord. from our declaration here, standing on the promises and prayers of our founding fathers of this great continent, we pray as you dismiss us with your blessings, and as we head to various destinations, may this great continent be blessed. May the future of our children be greater than ours. Lord, as we stand on the shoulders of great men and women who spoke about this continent being the continent of the future, may it be not only the future in basic need, necessity question, but also on moral and values of society that will encourage social order and hope for our people. May it be a future for every other aspect of humanity. We want to thank you. Dismiss us with your blessing. Bless this great country of Ghana, who has hosted Africa here. We have stayed, we've interacted, we've known each other. We have enjoyed listening to your voice through men and women. Bless this country greatly. Lift them and lift this country higher. Blessed as they have declared your name, because we pray, declaring Africa for you and for our children and the future. In Jesus' holy name, amen.
Amen. Please network. Don't leave here without taking a phone number or contact of a colleague. We will be going from here straight to the naval ship. We have snack. Unfortunately, we skip our health break. So the snacks are there. Please pick your snacks, and then we'll go straight to the front of the building. We'll take our pictures, and then we head towards our tour. Thank you very much. Please fraternize, take numbers, and make friends. God bless Africa.